Caribbean Culture Advisor, where he managed the production of a 6-volume history of the Caribbean, alongside cultural departments in all of the CARICOM countries. Did you know that he was also chairman of the Carifesta Interim Festival Directorate, a regional advisory body to Carifesta? This committee reviewed Carifesta with a view to enhance the festival and increase its visibility internationally. Did you know that upon return to Dominica in 2008, he was appointed cultural advisor to the Minister of Culture? Did you know that Owen Bully wrote and directed Osei and the Masqueraders in 2018, A Handful of Dirt in 2010, and Hit for Six in 2007? Bully wrote 10 full-length plays, 4 radio serials, numerous short stories, and 4 screenplays. Did you know that Owen was the recipient of many awards for his theater work? He received an award from the International Theater Institute Jamaica Center and a Lifetime Achievement CASIC Award from the National Drama Association of Trinidad and Tobago. He was also awarded with the Cicero Award of Honor from the Government of Dominica for his design of the Dominica flag in 1985 and a Golden Drum Award from the National Cultural Council of Dominica in 1997. He was also awarded with the UE Alumni Award for Excellence in 2008. Of course, we observed the 2 years since the passing of the late Dr. Owen Bully on March 10th, 2025. Did you know? Made possible compliments your nation station and the good folks at the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Up next, we'll bring you the DBS Major Morning News.
DBS News. Fresh in the morning. Eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: Dominica to seek clarification on a New York Times article which states that the country is among 43 considered for partial suspension of U.S. visas. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit will join DBS News live this morning. Other news: Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown says the country's ambassador to the U.S. has been asked to investigate reports that Antigua and Barbuda has been included on a list of countries for which travel to the U.S. will be banned or restricted. Details of the morning news right after this.
The range of Kin juices are 100% natural with no added sugar. Kin offers a range of refreshing juices which are enriched with vitamin C and no added preservatives. Delight yourself in one of Kin's nectars or treat your little ones with a Kinita box drink at a refreshingly low price today. Kin, the juice in our lives. Sold at major supermarkets island-wide. Distributed by Fine Foods Inc.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
DBS News.
Welcome back to the DBS Major Morning News. The news this morning brought to listeners through the kind compliments of Fine Foods Inc., HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited, and Petro Caribe. Well, we go straight to Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, who is joining us live this morning on the latest as it relates to Dominica seeking clarification on a New York Times article which states that the country is among 43 considered for partial suspension of U.S. visas. Prime Minister Skerrit, good morning to you. Welcome to the DBS Morning News.
Good morning to you, Curtis, and of course, good morning to the listeners of DBS News.
What do you know about this latest development?
Well, the most we know is what everybody has read on the publication from the New York Times and others. As of this morning, we have not received any formal or informal notification from the U.S. government on this matter. The moment I saw and I read the New York Times article, I made contact with the head of mission of the U.S. Embassy in Barbuda.
Well, we seem to have lost the Prime Minister. We will make every effort to rectify that situation, but it appears that we may have lost the Prime Minister. And Prime Minister, are you there? No.
Yes, I'm there.
Right, so you can continue.
Yeah, so I'm saying that I haven't read the article from New York Times. I made contact with the head of mission at the U.S. Embassy in Barbados, and they too have indicated to me that they have not received any communication from the State Department on the matter. I have also directed our ambassador in Washington to seek to make every contact with the State Department to ascertain the veracity of that publication. So that whatever, if this is correct, if this is a true reflection of a decision by the State Department or the U.S. government, then we'll be given opportunity to respond and to clarify any misunderstanding which may exist. We have always had very good communication with the U.S. government and successive U.S. governments through the embassies and also directly to the State Department. So we're open to engaging. Our hope is that this is not accurate, but if it is accurate, then we're prepared to respond.
And we are hoping by your press conference time this morning at 11 o'clock, let's suppose there is some more information, we'll be able to address the nation a little further on that. But that press conference with the Prime Minister set for 11 o'clock this morning.
Sure. I mean, we'll keep the country updated. We are given this the highest priority. I am overseeing the government's response to this myself, and so we'll keep the country updated whenever we get information and what we consider as the government and what will be our responses if one is required.
Another matter which you will discuss, I'm very sure, at the press conference this morning relates to 3 electoral reform bills which will go to Parliament this week on Wednesday. And, of course, the government is taking all 3 bills to the Parliament for the third and final readings.
Yeah, well, we'll be taking 3 bills to the Parliament, having done the first reading last year. 1 will be the Electoral Commission Bill, 2, the Registration of Electors Bill, and 3, the House of Assembly Bill. These are very far-reaching, progressive pieces of legislation which is unprecedented in our political history in Dominica. This is the first time in our post-independence political system any government is taking any amendments or improvements to the election bills. You will know that both the Freedom Party and the United Party were asked then when they were in government to go to Parliament to make certain amendments to legislation, and both refused to do so. As a matter of fact, when the Workers' Party was in government, the Canadian government offered to finance the reform agenda then, and they refused to. So this is why I do not know what is this protest or demonstration about. You asked, and we agreed that at some point in time, legislation has to be updated, our systems must be modernized. We accept that there has never been any fraudulent elections in Dominica. Elections in Dominica have always been free and fair and free from fear. And the Dominican people have always been able to exercise their franchise. And the government that has emerged, the party that emerged victorious, was recognized in the government and respected as such. And so while they recognize that they've always been free and fair elections, obviously, everything needs modernization. Everything needs improvement. There's technology, the new ways of doing things, the international best practices, and this is what we're seeking to do. Now, this is a democracy. It is not everything that is in a document that every one of us will be happy with entirely. There are some things in these bills that we have given up, and myself had a different view. But in an effort to advancing the dialogue and the discussions and eventually the decisions of what to go to Parliament, we give up on those things. And so one must understand that it is the Parliament that will eventually pass legislation. The Constitution provides for that. So this writing, I see people putting writing about campaign financing and this is not in it and that is not in it. Let us talk about what's in it. So they're not talking about what's in the bills. And so anybody who wants to engage themselves in any demonstration in Dominica now against going to Parliament to pass those bills is engaging in pure mischief and seeking to give the world the impression that there is something untoward taking place in Dominica and that will be taking place in the Parliament of Dominica, which is completely far from the truth. We went through a most aggressive and engaging, comprehensive engagement of consultations. People who want to share their views, share their views. It is not because you share a view, then that view must be carried by the majority. No. And so I read what people write, and it's a lot of mischief, it's a lot of misinformation, and it is an effort to drum up their own agenda. Let us go to Parliament. You started by saying that you wanted a voter ID card. You started by saying you want to cleanse the voters list. You said you do not want Dominicans living overseas to be given the opportunity overseas where they reside to be confirmed. We gave you all of those things and more. You understand? And now you want to bring things that were never part of the the consideration. And we have said that the issue of campaign financing, that in principle and from a philosophical and intentional manner, we are opposed to campaign finance legislation. But what we're saying at this time, it makes no sense to hold back the three pieces of legislation where there really ought not to be any discord or disagreement from going to Parliament, because it is crucial that we engage ourselves and to give the Electoral Commission the authority in law to proceed with the fundamental aspects of the electoral reform agenda. And campaign financing was never part of the consideration. Never part of the consideration. It was submitted by Sir Dennis Byron, who used essentially the legislation that is existing in Jamaica. You would need more time because it is a highly technical and document. And if you're going to pass something, you need to ensure that you have the ability to put infrastructure in place to oversee its implementation. And so why does one want to hold back the more fundamental aspects of the reform? Noting that this issue of campaign finance was never part of it until Sir Dennis Byron submitted it. And they're talking about we set aside what Sir Dennis Byron has submitted. This is not true. The bills that go to Parliament are largely that of Sir Dennis Byron. Largely that of Sir Dennis Byron. And if you go back to the bills that we sought to bring in 2016, you recognize that what Sir Dennis Byron has submitted is largely what we presented to Parliament in 2016. That's what it's what I'm saying. So when guys writing, I see somebody to me last night about we move over to Dennis Byron and stuff. And recommendations that doesn't mean that it is a decision. It is the Parliament who has to decide. And it is the government who has to bring the bills to Parliament. Parliament will debate. If there are people on my side and the opposition side who disagree with what in Parliament did, then I am saying to them that they're free to vote wherever they believe they should vote on this matter. But we believe, as a government and the majority of people in this country, that the bills that have been brought to Parliament and their contents meet international best practices. We have shared this with all our international partners, the Commonwealth, the OAS, the OECS, the CARICOM, and there is understanding that which we bring to Parliament is comprehensive. As a matter of fact, in 2016, the Commonwealth Secretariat endorsed the bills that we were bringing to Parliament. And they have endorsed those bills as well. So what is the issue? This is just political mischief, a group of men who are trying to make themselves relevant when the people of Dominica have indicated that they're not relevant anymore. But I am saying to us that we're going to go to Parliament on Wednesday, God's willing, and those bills we passed. And I'm saying to the country that I have directed the Minister of National Security to put the regional security system on alert. Because anybody who would believe that they're going to storm Parliament or create mischief in Dominica, it will not happen. And it will not happen. And so you can come and demonstrate if you want, but do so peacefully. Anybody who believes they're going to breach the Parliament wall and interfere with the democratic processes of the country, you'll be looking for trouble for yourself.
Prime Minister Skerrit, thank you very much for joining us on News this morning. We will hear more from you on the press conference at 11 this morning. Thank you very much for joining us on News this morning.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit speaking about 3 electoral reform bills which will go to Parliament for their passage on Wednesday. And of course, as you heard, talk that the opposition forces will be demonstrating on Wednesday. They plan to do that outside of the Parliament. You heard the response from Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. Now let's head into one or two other items this morning. 56-year-old Alan Dennis of Tebow, who resides in Guadeloupe, has died from injuries he sustained after he fell accidentally from a 2-story concrete dwelling house at Tebow. That incident occurred about 3:45 a.m. on Saturday. He was declared dead with massive bleeding from head injuries. Investigations continue into the matter. And news from Antigua and Barbuda, that country's Prime Minister Gaston Brown says the country's ambassador to the U.S. has been asked to investigate reports that Antigua has been included on a list of countries for which travel to the U.S. will be banned or restricted.
The other matter relates to an article in yesterday's New York Times, which claims that the U.S. government is preparing a list of 43 countries from which travel will be banned or restricted. According to the article, Antigua and Barbuda is among the countries that will appear on the restricted list. This morning, I requested our ambassador to the U.S., Sir Ronald Sanders, to dispatch a note to the U.S. government seeking confirmation of the article's claim and to make it clear that our government has worked harmoniously with the U.S. to ensure that our relations are mutually beneficial. We were especially careful to emphasize that our government maintains a sanctions policy fully aligned with that of the U.S. Treasury in all financial matters. Furthermore, regarding the Citizenship by Investment Program, CIP, Antigua and Barbuda does not accept applications from any country that is currently on a U.S. banned list. All applications are rigorously vetted by recognized international agencies, including Interpol, to ensure that no applicants with any criminal background or current charges, including terrorism, are considered. We also affirmed our intention to continue working closely with the U.S. government on this matter. Therefore, while I cannot guarantee the decisions of the U.S. government, I'm confident that upon any objective analysis, it will be found that there is no reason to restrict travel from our country.
And that's Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister, Gaston Brown. We'll shut it down now, end the news, and bring you the sports report right after this.
Farm your meals with the superb quality that is found in Robert's products. Become a master baker with Balbocry shortening. Add a touch of love to your food with sunflower soft luxury spread. Perfect your bread with Glow Spread margarine. Add mellow cream, the tastemaker flavor to all your gravies, soups, and stews. Robert's, for the love of cooking. Distributed by Fine Foods, the biggest distributor of the biggest brands found in Dominica.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
For over 47 years, the National Bank of Dominica Limited has been a cornerstone of our nation's development, standing by our customers at every step. Together, we are shaping a brighter future. We recognize that every journey is different, and we are dedicated to nurturing meaningful relationships. We are here to understand your needs and support your goals. Our personalized services are designed to provide the peace of mind you deserve wherever life takes you. Trust us to be there when it counts. With NBD, you have a partner invested in your success today, tomorrow, and always.
Let's begin the DBS Morning Sports Report with football news. The Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers Starlights have put an end to the dynasty of the New India Goodwill Runners as the Portsmouth-based team lifted their first ever DFA Women's Premier League title Sunday at the DFA Technical Centre in Stock Farm. The New India Goodwill Runners took the championship down to the final match, with the Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers needing all 3 points in their final game to lift the title. The New India Goodwill Runners crushed South City 10-0 Sunday afternoon, with Brianna Biggs getting 5 goals. The win put the New India Goodwill Runners on 37 points, and it meant that the Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers needed all 3 points in their final match against Harlem Sunday evening to lift the title. The Bombers did just that, with goals coming from Limaya Ford and Ciara Lee as they beat Harlem by 2-0. With the win, the Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers ended the season with 38 points, winning the title by 1 point over the Goodwill Runners. Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers head coach is Heinrich Anselm.
Well, it's a very, very special moment for us. I mean, Goodwill Runners has been the top team for a number of years, and we are finally dethroning them. And it augurs well for women's football in Portsmouth here.
You enter this match in a must-win situation because the Bombers put 7 past or 8 past South City. What was the mindset heading into the game, knowing that you needed all 3 points to lift the championship?
Well, I told the girls that they really have to work hard. I mean, Harlem is one of the best defenses of the season if you look at the table. And we also were one of the most defensive teams also. In the last game, we drew 1-1. And I know for sure it will be a very difficult game. But we push hard and we work well and we got the win.
And Lamaya Ford showed her class, showed why she's a national player, getting that goal and putting the ladies in front. How special has she been for you guys throughout the season?
Well, Lamaya Ford has always been an exceptional player. I mean, she got the Golden Boots last season. I know this year she's in contention for the Woman Football of the Year, the MVP, and also the leading goal scorer. I know definitely she should get all 3 awards this season.
What does this say about the program at Portsmouth, though, being able to get this team to this position that they are champions today?
Well, at first we had to get some of the girls together, and they showed a lot of interest. And the pool of players was rather small, but as the season progressed, we kind of built around from the current players we had, and we also had a few veteran players in between. So that mixture of veteran and youth, it really worked out for us for the season.
And that's the Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers head coach, Heinrich Anselm. The Bombers received $15,000 and a trophy. New India Goodwill Runners placed second, and Harlem finished the season in 3rd place. 2 new qualifiers for the 2025 Carifta Games and 1 new national record following the Aspirers Club participation at the Martinique Carifta Trials on the weekend. Jaden Joseph set a new national record in the under-17 boys long jump as he jumped 6.92 meters to book his ticket for the 2025 Carifta Games to be held during the Easter holidays. Joseph says he was happy with his showing.
This experience was a great one for me, as this was the first time I was exposed to a synthetic track. This played a pivotal contribution to my overall performance, which led to a new national record of 6.92 meters in the under-17 boys long jump. What that is still needed to be improved upon to secure a medal for the Carifta Games is greater speed in my run-up and to get more lift in the air through the flight phase. I am elated to represent Dominica for the 2025 Carifta Games and give all my glory to God.
And that's the national under-17 long jump record holder, Jaden Joseph. Meanwhile, Aspirers Vice Captain Jariah Lewis also qualified for the Carifta Games in the boys under-20 long jump. He set a new personal best jumping 6.90 meters.
The experience at the Martinique Carifta Finals gave me the much-needed exposure to improve upon my performance. My overall evaluation on my performance shows that nothing is impossible once you put God first and put in the required training. This led me to attain a new personal best of 6.90 meters, which surpassed the under-20 boys qualifying standard of 6.75 meters. As we draw closer to the Carifta Games, my main focus will be on bettering my finishing phase to get into the 7-meter zone and push myself to mount the medal podium. I give God thanks for this achievement and my #1 fan by mother. To my coach Nabil Lois, I say thank you for helping me to set the standard.
Aspirers Vice Captain Jariah Lewis. We will hear from Aspirers head coach Nabi Wallace in another sportscast. So far, 4 athletes have qualified for the Carifta Games. They are the female sprinter Kerel Etienne, javelin thrower Addison James, and long jumpers Jariah Lewis and Jaden Joseph. Athletes will have another opportunity to qualify this weekend at the National Junior Championships, which will be taking place at Windsor Park. Some basketball news now. The 767 Sports Club basketball team is celebrating another basketball trophy as they were able to go undefeated as they retained the KFC Invitational basketball title in St. Lucia on the weekend. The 767 Sports Club took down the defending St. Lucia basketball champs, the Soufriere Kings, 80-72 in the finals on Saturday night. Sherwin Thomas had 24 points, Shama Felicite 17, 22 rebounds, and Mishak Dubule 16 points for the 767 Sports Club team. Head coach of the team, Dunstan Maggie Peters, says he was pleased with the showing from the young team.
Well, trust me, since last year, the Soufriere Kings, they were the toughest opponent. Though they were the third place team, right. They were the toughest opponent. We played them first and they gave us battle. So I was never surprised that they eventually became the champions. So coming in today, I see them play a little leg yesterday with them, but I know they were just throwing them fellas. But I know it's us they're waiting for. So I was really, honestly, I expected a battle. And to be honest with you, I didn't tell my players that in the beginning, but I was nervous. My captain, Austin Powers, Austin Nichols, yeah, he really settled the game, controlled the game for us, really battled it for us. Right now we move to St. Lucia, so all you have a deadly baller there, a leader, you know, and then our partner, the number 0, you know, big man, and my partner Shama, the Eagle. Yeah, he really alters shots and keep fellas, you know, keep it. Yeah, man, a lot of them, man, the youths and them, we have a lot of youths, about 520s. I just want to big up the parents of the youngsters because they're the parents, they invest in the players, they paid their full fare, everything. Yeah, because we couldn't get sponsors or stuff to come by. So the youngsters and them, their parents paid everything. Meals, transportation, everything. So I want to big up the parents for investing in the youth because that's what it takes.
And that's the head coach of the 767 Sports Club, Dunstan Maggie Peters. Some volleyball news. R&D came from 2 sets down to take out the Breakers as matches continued in the men's Division 1 of the KFC National Volleyball League last night at the Massac Indoor Facility. R&D lost the first 2 sets 16-25, 23-25, but rallied back to take the next 3 sets 25-18, 25-19, 15-7 to win the match by 3 sets to 2. R&D also enjoyed success in the Women's League as they beat the Breakers in straight sets 25-20, 25-12, 25-20. And R&D made it a clean sweep over the Breakers as their men's Division 2 team won 25-13, 25-18, 16-25. And 25-11. Some cricket news now. Lendl Simmons got another half century, but the West Indies legends came up short in the finals of the International Masters League as they went down to India on Sunday. The Windies batted first. They made 148 for 7 in their 20 overs. Lendl Simmons top scored with 57 from 41 balls. Dwayne Smith got 45. Vinay Kumar took 3 for 26 for India, while India replied with 149 for 4 in 17.1 overs. Ambati Rayudu took top score with 74. Sachin Tendulkar made 25. Ashley Nurse picked up 2 for 22. Suleiman Ben 1 for 28. And Tino Bess 1 for 34. India winning the match by 6 wickets. The Cricket West Indies Director of Cricket, Miles Bascom, says he's excited with the opportunities that the new regional T20 cricket tournament will bring to the Caribbean. Cricket West Indies and Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League are jointly launching the inaugural West Indies Breakout League. The new cricket tournament is designed to spotlight emerging talent across the Caribbean. The competition is scheduled to take place from April 25th to the 10th of May, featuring 6 teams and 17 matches. All the games will take place at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Trinidad. The 6 teams taking part are Barbados Pelicans, Guyana Rainforest Rangers, Jamaica Titans, the Leeward Island Thunder, Trinidad and Tobago Legions, and the Windward Islands. Well, players who will be taking part must be under 30 years old and they must have played fewer than 40 List A T20 matches and fewer than 10 international T20s. Finally, let's go back to some netball news. The captain of the Convent High School Under-20 netball team, Kenya John, has praised her teammates as they retain their sports division Under-20 schools netball title Friday night. The Convent High School beat the Portsmouth Secondary School 30-11 to make it back-to-back titles. Convent High School captain Kenya John was named the best shooter of the tournament. John says it was an amazing run to the finals.
I felt as though we came here today to win.